Now, there's this natural question of whether Bitcoiners want to utilize these layers and peg in their Bitcoin. And so I'm curious, what are your thoughts on that? And generally, what are some potential popular use cases that you're thinking of?
Yeah, I think it's a great question, and I would say that people often forget how many Bitcoiners are out there because Bitcoin is the asset that so many people who might get identified as like ETH users or other network users. They're actually Bitcoiners. They own Bitcoin. They might actually keep more Bitcoin because Bitcoin is generally perceived, and for very good reasons, as a less risky asset. They actually have more Bitcoin than any other asset. But right now, they just can't spend Bitcoin on anything. You really, Bitcoin over the last years has evolved into a holding asset. You either hold it, or if you want to exchange it for dollars, you go to a centralized exchange. There isn't much you can do in a decentralized way with Bitcoin. And I think that basically one good example would be the wrapped Bitcoin asset on Ethereum. It's basically fully custodial, fully KYC. There are tax problems in getting a tax hit by doing the wrapping, and still it has like a $5 billion circulating supply on Ethereum, which I think a lot of Bitcoiners might actually not want to use Ethereum. They would be more open to using solutions that are very targeted to the Bitcoin blockchain and are much closer to the Bitcoin ethos of doing things. So I would generally say that yes, there might be an impression out there on Twitter that Bitcoiners just want to hold their money. Sure, that's their savings account, but Bitcoiners are a very, very large community. And even in history, like we've seen, if you look at even some of the token offerings that happened where people could participate with Bitcoin, the bulk of the capital would actually come in BTC. Like BTC is the largest asset, and people do deploy it into a lot of things when those options are present. So I think it's a little bit of a myth that because the industry has evolved this way, that Bitcoin doesn't have smart contracts and a normal Bitcoin wallet doesn't have any swap functionality, doesn't have like NFT purchases or any other DeFi functionality baked in. So those use cases have sort of naturally moved towards Ethereum or other chains, and they're happening there, and people likely convert their Bitcoin into other assets to then go and play with these things. Whereas if you just bring all of those applications to Bitcoin, that's one less step. Like you can just natively use Bitcoin in a Bitcoin economy, and I think that's the vision that we are very excited about.
Great, thank you. Now, what is your focus? You wear multiple hats as the founder of Stacks, the CEO of Trust Machines. What is your focus when it comes to Trust Machines and the launch leading up to sBTC?
Yeah, I feel like my co-founder of Stacks thing is a little bit of I think it's better described as a co-creator. Like I helped create this thing, and now it's a thing out there. Like it can survive without me. It has like so many different entities and talented people that are contributing to the open source code. And I do think like in this market, sometimes I'm surprised that how many people think of Stacks as a company. Like it's not a company. Like it is an open source project. There's no company called Stacks. And there are, just like, Lightning is not a company. Lightning is open source code, and different people run nodes, and different people can come and build things there. Same is the case with Stacks. Same is the case with Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not a company. Different companies sort of like work in the Bitcoin ecosystem. So on a day-to-day, I'm the CEO of Trust Machines. We're very excited about enabling, these large applications. And effectively, the question that we are asking and the mission that we are excited about is, how is Bitcoin going to reach 1 billion users? And we see the Stacks layer as a critical part of doing it, because it brings all of these new applications that the users care about, right? Think about stablecoins. One of the reasons I actually hold Ethereum, I was actually thinking about this the other day. I actually hold Ethereum to pay gas fees for stablecoins. This is literally the only reason why I have ETH in my wallet. So why can't this be Bitcoin? Why can't we have stablecoins directly on Bitcoin through Stacks, and then you're paying the gas fees with Bitcoin, and you just don't need to think about other assets, right? So that's the sort of thing. Like at Trust Machines, we think of Stacks as a tool just like Lightning is a tool, DLCs are a tool. And yes, previously, I have helped co-create that tool, and that's great. But at the trust machine level, we look at these things as tools. And when we're building applications, we will use the tool that is right for the job. And it turns out that smart contracts are extremely powerful. You do need smart contracts for most of the things that are actually gaining traction in the market these days. And Stacks happens to be the best, Bitcoin layer for smart contracts today. And I think that's where the overlap happens. And in a way, it's great. Like Trust Machine has a clear business incentive. We want to build these applications, and if we need to contribute to the underlying infrastructure, well, we will do that, and that helps other people. Great, but we're primarily doing it for our own business incentives.
Great. Thank you so much, Muneeb. And we're going to continue doing more Stacker Chats. So please subscribe to this channel for more content like this. Please like this video. Let us know if you have questions either in the comments below or connect and reach out to us on Twitter. But thank you so much. We'll see you soon.